Well, more on that breaking news on the cricket. And Australia have retained the Ashes without a ball being bowled on the final day of the fourth test. England needed to win to keep the series alive, but steady rain in Manchester meant Ben Stokes' side were denied the chance to take the 5 wickets they needed to win. Let's bring in our sports correspondent Rob Harris live at Old Trafford for us. And Rob, play had to be abandoned because of the rain, and what a shame for England.
Yeah, washout ultimately determining the destination of the urn, and we are sheltering here at Old Trafford because the rain is continuing, as it has pretty much been all day. There are a few windows of hope at time. Early this morning, before play was due to resume, it was dry, but it was too early for play to get underway. Then there was some hope at lunchtime, maybe the covers could come off, but it really has been a persistent downpour through the afternoon into now the early evening, and all hope was abandoned of play in the last sort of 10 minutes or so, which means Australia have their 2-1 series lead. They take to the Oval, and it means that regardless of the result, the Ashes will be retained by Australia. The best thing they can now hope for is limiting it, so it's a 2-all series draw perhaps, so Australia don't win for the first time away here with the series since 2001. But for England, there'll be all sorts of questions about what could have been in this series. There's been some exhilarating Test cricket, the opponents, this new Bazball style tactics, but ultimately losing the first test at Edgbaston. Perhaps they should have declared earlier here. Maybe they actually played on for too long on Friday. They should have declared rather than reaching 592, and it might have given them time to complete the victory before this weekend deluge here in Manchester. But for Australia, joyful certainly at managing to retain the for England, just many questions that for all the new legions of fans they might have gathered with some of the sort of thrilling style in this series, that daring, bold approach. Ultimately, it's about winning and about winning the urn, but it's been a day instead for England when the best they could hope for, the closer they got to the ball, was playing football in the outfield here, as a lot of fans have been left frustrated, wondering if they should do things like factor in reserve extra days to be able to complete tests rather than it ending on pretty much a damp squid, which means there will be no deciding 5th tests now at the Oval next week.
Rob Harris in a very wet Manchester. Thanks very much indeed.